evening, Tottenham fans. Where should we begin? So we finally lost the game 2-1 to Liverpool at home today. 2-0 down at half time, and then Kulusevski comes on later on and makes a little bit of an impact. But let's get into it because I'm actually fuming. Dyer today again. Dyer, how the hell did Dyer get into the England squad? I do not know. One of the worst centre backs I've actually ever seen play for Tottenham. I don't care what anyone says. Emerson again started today. Again, awful. Sessegnon, he's just not good enough. He's not good enough. Davies, okay, he wasn't as bad as Dyer, but again, not good enough. The only positives for me were like you got Bentancur, Bissouma's best game in a Spurs shirt, and Højbjerg was better in the second half. But Kane had little to no support really, and Perisic did okay in his position. But let's talk about this because for me, this is game number how many where we've conceded first. We started slow again, and again, eventually the slow starts were going to cost us. It was going to cost us because you can't play a team like Liverpool and give them that much respect, that much of an incentive in the game. And we went one down, and I thought, okay, maybe now we're one down, maybe we'll wake up. But no, we're letting another goal, 2 down. You're not going to get back to the game against a team like Liverpool, even at home. 2-0 down. It's a massive mountain to climb. It's just the mentality of the players coming out there in the first half is nowhere near good enough. It's just not. I'm sorry. We come out here as if like we've got time to kill, time to find our feet. No, in a game like Liverpool, you do not have time. You have to come out there and get in their faces. I was at the game, right, and I was screaming at the players to like press in the first half. We were just giving Liverpool all the space in the world. Yeah, Trent had all the time. I mean, we were so deep. Like, do you guys think it's a problem to do with Conte, or do you think it's a problem with personnel? Because for me, I don't see it as a reality where Conte literally tells these players, "I'll come out and just take the first half easy. You know, let's just take the first half easy. We'll give them a little bit of head start." I don't see a world where Conte actually tells them to do that. The mentality of the players is just not good enough. You see Conte screaming on the touchline for them to like push as well, and they just don't. For Dyer, for me, I can't fathom why we're gonna give this guy a new contract. Yeah, for me, he needs to go in the summer. For me, I've seen enough of Dyer. Even as a squad player, I just don't think he's good enough. If we're gonna use him in defense, he's just not good enough. Again today with that mistake, his body language completely off. He was just casually, did that, and he gave it straight to Salah. But we've seen these mistakes from Dyer year after year after year. And nothing changes until you replace the player. Nothing's going to change. In these big games, Dyer's cost us, I think, more than any other player. And even someone like Sanchez, who didn't actually play today, I think makes less big mistakes like this in big games. And it's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. He's one of those players for me who, because of the way he speaks about Tottenham and because of the way his relationship with previous managers, like obviously Mourinho liked him because he spoke Portuguese, right? This is why he gets let off. It's kind of from sentiment, because if we really look back at Dyer's performances in the Spurs shirt, I can only recall maybe one and maybe 2 seasons at the very most where he was actually like half decent. And people forget he was playing alongside Dembele or Wanyama, or even both of them in that Pochettino side. And when Dyer played in midfield, when he made his mistakes, it was less costly because number one, we had more of the ball, and number two, I mean, we had someone like Wanyama next to him who would clean it up. And also, making a mistake in midfielder, you have all these players behind you who we had Toby and Yan at the time, and obviously Rose and Walker. Now he's playing in the back three, which people argued, Dyer could be better in the back three. And yes, he is slightly better in the back three, but you can't teach him to stop making these mistakes. It was going to cost us eventually. It was a matter of time. Maybe it wasn't going to be today. If it wasn't going to be today, it might have been in like against Leeds at home or against Forest in midweek. So it's just not good enough. These slow starts were always going to catch up to us. We can't. Starting from Forest, and I said this even in the stream I did before this, right? we cannot start in the same manner. We have to literally be in their faces and get at them. Especially something like Forest. We should be beating Forest. I know we just about beat them earlier in the season, but this is a cup game. This is probably our best chance for me to win a trophy is a Carabao Cup. We cannot go out there on Wednesday and start this and give Forest the incentive, especially because they're at home, and play in this manner. We need to go out there and actually press them from the off. The only player today for me who was pressing from the off was Perisic, and he was obviously playing sort of out of position or a bit higher up than he normally does. But he was the only player for me in the first half who was pressing Perisic. Sessegnon, like I said, he's just not good enough. I don't think we'll ever get anywhere near the amount of potential we think we're going to get out of him. And if we're being brutally honest, we need to replace him in the summer as well. Emerson, for me, some of the worst crossing I've ever seen in my life. Hand on heart say this. I think Noe Pamro back in Joel days was better than Emerson Royale. He's probably one of the worst right wing backs or right backs I've ever seen at Tottenham. How he keeps getting the team, I do not know. We looked a lot better when Doherty came on, and Perisic also moved to the left, and Sessegnon came off. There's no one can disagree with this. When Kulusevski came on, we actually looked like we were going to score. I thought, like I said, Bissouma, Bentancur and Højbjerg all had really good games and were definitely our best players today. It was always going to be hard, I guess, without Son. Well, I say without Son. Son hasn't really done much this season. But with a half-fit Kulusevski, and then I guess I don't know, he didn't want to play Gil, so Gil didn't play at all. But for me, to work a Conte system, your back five has to be like elite, at like top class. The only defender for me in that back five who started today, and I've said this about numerous times, is Longley, who's anywhere near as decent or ready or however you want to phrase it to play under Conte. Longley's the only one, and people forget Longley's on loan for Barcelona, right? He's not, signed permanently. He's 27, 28. You look at Davies. If we're being completely honest, Davies is not good enough. He does put in a shift, and maybe as a squad player, he's okay, but against a team like Liverpool, he's just not good enough. Dyer, even playing on the right, people forget he was playing in the middle throughout this season until the past 2-3 games. He still made this mistake, so you can't fan it. In order for Tottenham to succeed on the Conte, they need to go out and buy at least 4 defenders, I'd say. So you need 2 wing backs and 2 centre halves. And let's be honest, we're not going to get this in January. So we need to get, at least for me, a right wing back, because I think on the left we're sort of, I'm not saying we're like sorted, but with Perisic, at least there's a reliable option there. We need a right wing back badly and a central centre half badly, because at least that will push Longley on the left. And then on the right, I guess you're going to have to just take your chances and hope Romero is fit. But for me, this game, this result was inevitable. It was going to happen either like today or next week or the week after or after the World Cup, because the mentality of the players is just I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. And that's exemplified by Eric Dyer. We have Forest in midweek, and we cannot afford to start the same manner we started against Liverpool. We have to start fast, strong, in their faces, press them, and we need to go out and get a result. And I'm not talking just a 1-0, 2-1. We need to go out there and win like 3 or 4-0 and make a statement and say, look, we can actually play a way in which we can at least relax near the end of the game. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm fuming, especially for Eric Dyer. I'm fuming with that. It's just, come on, you Spurs. All right, come on, you Spurs.